Hey guys, appreciate you checking out my YouTube channel. So this week I've been going through my head coaching 101 type stuff. All of this can be found in my book that I put out, or a lot more in detail on the course I've put out on CoachTube, or you can find some things on my website as well. Or just reach out if you got questions, guys. I'd love to see you be successful. So this day we're going to talk about getting the job. So a lot of guys are interested in becoming a head coach or are wanting to take that next step in their career. So here's a couple tips. There's a lot more I've got, like I said, in that CoachTube course. The first thing you got to understand, and I think most of you either will or already do understand, is that relationships are the key to any kind of job you may get. Okay, and so setting the groundwork before you even go into an interview or get an interview is very, very important. Okay, there's a lot of different ways you can do that. One of the ways is through coaching clinics and through networking, reaching out and meeting people even before, because here's what I've learned: a lot of people I've met before now are administrators. So that's a good relationship to have. The other thing you've got to do is you've got to be willing to reach out when the job comes open and inquire to those people about what's going on there. So you've got to set that stage with those relationships if you want to have a chance at that job. Because honestly, that's going to be the number one factor in you getting a job as a head coach, is the relationship you have with somebody at that school. Okay, very few, there are some, but very few jobs are going to hire somebody they didn't know anything about. Okay. Second thing you've got to have is a good, strong portfolio. There are a lot of awesome coaches when you look at their resume and their portfolio that don't look like awesome coaches because they just haven't figured this part out. But you've got to make yourself look as good as possible through various means as far as presentation on paper before you're going to have a chance to get a job. It doesn't mean lie. I'm not telling you to be deceitful. Be honest, be upfront. But you want to make yourself look good, even if that means hiring that out. I know Coach 4 has his own site where you can pay him and he'll do some awesome things for you. If you don't want to go that route, you could hire a graphic designer. There are a lot of things you need to be as a coach. Unfortunately, one of those things is you've got to make sure you look great on a portfolio. And that's tough for a guy like me that can barely use a computer. And so I've had to go and get help from people to make me look pretty good in that stuff. So that's important. I know that shouldn't be, but it is. Make sure you've got a strong portfolio, which should include obviously a resume, a cover letter. It should include your theory of coaching. It should include any highlights of what you've done as coaching. The more materials you can bring to the table, the better you're going to look. You don't have to talk about all of them, but the more you can give, showing all of the things you've done or want to do if you're a young coach, the better you're going to come off at the interview. Finally, the interview skills you need. Okay, this is a tough situation for a lot of guys because it can be intimidating to get in there. I would highly recommend be yourself, because I've always felt and still feel if who I am is not good enough for where I'm going, I don't really want to be there. And so that's the number one thing I'll tell myself walking into an interview is, of course, I want to put on a good front and be the best version of myself possible. Of course, I want to be respectful to the people giving me the time. But I'm not going to sacrifice who I am to get a job ever. Okay, so you want to be yourself. But that doesn't mean I'm going to be myself and I'm not going to learn good grammar or good English. Go out and learn how to interview better. I mean, you expect your athletes to become the best version of themselves. Well, you need to become the best version of yourself. Even if you don't want to work on interview skills, you need to. There's lots of materials out there you can practice with. Okay. The final thing I'd say that's not on my board here is this, especially for you young, ambitious guys, if you're like I was, and like I see a lot of younger guys that are super ambitious. Sometimes the right move is to say no to a job. You know, just because a job is offered doesn't mean you have to take it. And just because a job is offered doesn't mean it's the best thing for you and your family. And a lot of times I've seen young coaches put themselves into a really bad situation by taking a job that was a tough job that I even had advised them not to take, because right now that was not a great fit for them. And once you've done that, and you go 0-10, or you go 1-9, or you do it 2 or 3 years in a row, that's a really big hole to dig out of. And so understand, sometimes just because they offer doesn't mean you got to take it. So sometimes the best job I've found is a job not taken. Appreciate your time, guys. If you'd like more information, again, I put that book out. I've got my coaching course on CoachTube. And guys, if money is an issue, reach out to me and I'll send it to you for free. I appreciate your time. Thank you.